Now, first of all, you see I have washed and peeled, what do we got here? 8 russet potatoes, okay? That's going to be part of our recipe. But what do you do with your potato peels? You throw them away? No. Now, I never throw my potato peels away. I have a thick potato peeler. And what I like to do is, like I said, make sure you wash the potatoes first, peel them, save the peels because they all have potato on them. Toss them in a little bit of olive oil. Season them with salt and pepper or whatever you like. This is salt, pepper, garlic, onion mixture. And bake those in the oven for a while and you'll have little potato chip French fries, okay? Don't waste them. These are good potatoes. Okay, so anyways, I'm going to chop up these potatoes and we're going to throw some water in there and get them boiling. All right, I'm just going to show you a couple of these potatoes the way I like to cut them up. Straight down the long way. 1, 2. You get 3 pieces of potato about 1 inch square, okay? That's the perfect size to boil them. Bop, 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 bop. Okay, I'm going to do the rest of those. We'll be back. Okay, now we've got our potatoes all cut up. Excuse my glove malfunction. I have a band-aid on my finger. Try not to get it all dirty and contaminate the food. So we're going to submerge these in water. Now we're using this Copper Chef deal here. Turn this front light off so you can see. Okay, and we want to put this on high setting, start. Okay, and we're going to boil that water, oh, maybe 15-20 minutes until we could poke the potatoes with a fork and they kind of start falling apart. That's when you know they're done. We're going to make some mashed potatoes with those. Potatoes have been boiling about 30 minutes here, and it seems like they are easy to break up. See that? Just break right in half with a fork. So that is about the right consistency. You could cook them a little longer, but then they just take in a lot of water. I want to put butter and cream in there. So we're going to shut this off. And I'm going to drain that water and we'll be back. Alright, now that we drained the water out of our potatoes, we don't want to wait too long because we're losing moisture here, okay? I'm going to put a whole cube of real butter. This is my Saturday dinner and I'm not skimping on the calories here today. I eat pretty healthy all week, but today we're doing comfort food. Okay, and I'm also going to add about a cup of whole milk at the beginning here. We'll see if we need more later. And now, since this is one of my good pans, I am going to use this hand masher to do the job instead of my electric mixer. I have another pan that I sometimes use that I don't care if I scratch it, that I use the electric mixer, but today I'm just going to smash them with this very gently. It does a job. But of course, if you want super creamy potatoes, probably use the mixer, but I don't mind if there's a couple little potato chunks in there. All right, I think I did pretty good on the milk. Don't think we need to add any more here. All right, we're pretty good on our potatoes. I'm not going to add salt or pepper or anything. We will do that on the plate when we eat. But yeah, creamy, buttery potatoes all done here. Okay, we're going to put a cover on that and continue with the rest of our recipe. A couple of pounds of ground beef. I bought 2 big packs here. I think there's about 5 pounds altogether. Because we're going to use some of it in this particular recipe, and the rest I'm going to save it for tomorrow and make something different. But we need to have cooked ground beef in both of these recipes. So we're going to cook this, brown it up. Then we'll be adding some more ingredients to that and some seasoning. Now you can see I've broken up this ground beef a little bit here. That'll help speed up the process of cooking. Of course, you don't want to cook it in a big lump the way it was there. And this particular ground beef is, I think it said 75-25, okay? 25% fat. So after we get it all cooked, we're going to drain the grease out of it. And then we'll just season up the meat the way we like it after. Okay, here we are. All of our beef is cooked. I drained like 99% of the grease out of here. There's just a little bit on the bottom, not a big deal. We don't want it to be dried up too much, okay? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add 1 large yellow onion and 1 large bell pepper, okay? Just going to kind of stir this into here. Yeah. Got a ½ pound of mushrooms here, which I cleaned and strained a couple of times here. You got to clean your mushrooms, you know. And mix this all in here also. Now look, you don't have to follow my recipe exactly. If you don't like mushrooms or onions, leave them out. But this is the way we like our beef in our house. I always put green peppers and onions for sure, and sometimes mushrooms. Today we're going to put the mushrooms in here. So we're going to saute these down. Now it's time to add the seasoning, my salt, pepper, garlic, onion that you see me always use. And some people have been asking how I make this stuff. Okay? So basically I just save one of these big seasoning containers, and since there's 4 ingredients, and the standard on making this stuff yourself is 1 part salt, 1 part black pepper, 1 part garlic powder, 1 part onion powder. But the way I do it is I only put half of the amount of salt and double the amount of the other ingredients, because I'm trying to keep my diet a little low on the salt, okay? But you can make it to your own taste. If you like more garlic, put more garlic. It's all up to you. But it's kind of convenient to make it all in one thing like that instead of putting it on separately. It's good for grilling and for skillet cooking like this too. So we're going to go ahead and finish sauteing this stuff down, and then we're going to make some gravy next. Okay? All right, now that our meat and our veggies has reduced down, I'm going to show you how to make some gravy, okay? You got to have your mixing bowl or a measuring cup like this. I use beef broth to start out, probably about half of this cup full. And let me tell you, you can buy these little brown gravy packages like this, and they're about $1 each, but that would take about 5 packages to do what I'm going to do. That's $5 extra. So we're not doing that. I'm going to make my own for about half the price. And all that's in these little packs is dried beef broth and flour, okay? 2 spoons of flour. And you have to do this and mix it up while the liquid is cold. If it's hot, it's going to lump up and it's not going to turn out, okay? So mix this stuff up. You can see how it's very easy to mix and there's no lumps, okay? And I am going to add this 1 brown gravy just for some deeper color, okay? Again, you have to mix this stuff up cold, all right? If you just throw it in the hot pan, it's going to turn into lumps. And then also I'm going to add a little bit of Worcestershire sauce. Only a couple spoonfuls there. Okay, and mix this all up. Alright. We got our pan good and hot. You see it sizzling good in there. Okay. Got to have the pan hot. Got this thing on high. All right, so now I'm going to pour this thing in here. All right. Now, if you want to make the gravy separate, you could do that also. Same deal. You can use the little package or make your own with flour and broth, or even flour and water works. If you just want to throw it in your meat, it works too. Okay. Or you could use the grease from the meat to make gravy. A lot of people do that too. So let's get this heated up here and we'll watch this gravy grow. I'm thinking it's going to be okay, but if need be, I'll have to add a little water if it gets too thick. Okay, depends on how that flour reacts. Okay, looks like she's thickening that pretty good. A little more than I expected. I'm going to put a little more broth in here instead of water. Might as well. I still have a half a container here. Okay. Okay, I'm going to turn this heat down and we're just going to let it stew a little while here until we're ready to eat. All right, now the next thing on our agenda here is our Brussels sprouts. Of course, you could use any vegetables you like, but we're having Brussels sprouts today because they're in season. I just bought these fresh at the market, and what I do is you cut the little stalk end off, and then I split them in half. This is what I do to bake them. If you want to steam them in a pot, you could leave them whole and just steam them, but I prefer to do it like this sometimes, and we're going to just drizzle them with a little olive oil, not very much. Okay. And the next thing I like to use is my garlic sauce. This has a little bit of vegetable oil in it also, I believe. That's why I didn't put a whole heck of a lot of that other olive oil on there. But this is really good garlic. You could make garlic bread butter sauce or seasoned meat with it or whatever. Okay, that's good for that. Now we're going to add a little of our salt, pepper, garlic, and onion rub that I make on here a little bit. Okay, and I'm just going to mix these up lightly, just a little bit. Spread this stuff around. Especially that garlic sauce. I like to get that on everything. Okay. And that's about it for that. Okay, that's going to go in the oven. 350 for probably an hour since I'm using this glass casserole dish. If you're using a metal pan, you can cook it for less amount of time, but when you're using this glass dish, it usually takes longer. So I'm going to throw that in the oven now. All right, hey, look at these. These are the potato skins that I peeled earlier. And they actually came out pretty darn good. They're crispy. Maybe I put a little much oil, but that's why I use olive oil, because it's still good like that. Anyways, yeah, we already have our seasoning on there. I'll try one real quick. As good as I expected. It tastes like hash browns, all right? In fact, you can make those and put eggs in them, and they're delicious. All right? Good stuff. Don't waste your potato skins. They're good. Okay, gang, everything is ready here. Look how our Brussels sprouts came out really good here. Just a little bit toasty, but all that garlic sauce on there. I'm going to add a little bit of my Parmesan cheese onto those. And as for our beef and gravy, right on the potatoes. Good stuff. Look at that. All right. Hey, I hope you learned a couple of good tips here. It's a good meal. Gonna enjoy it now. Okay, thanks for watching, everybody. Bye-bye.